Okay.
Facebook's live, YouTube's live, and okay, you're all set. Live.
We are back. Hi everyone. Welcome back to another live stream. My name is Nancy, and this is my brother-in-law Ben, and Ari will be joining us shortly. And we are NARBE House. If you guys are new here, we all three live under the same roof, and what do? Do we build cool video games and travel and make silly content? Stuff like that? Is that true? Yeah. So today is a special stream. First, we want to update you guys on our travel adventures. We just got back from another trip. We just got back a few days ago. Should I tell them where we went? Yeah? Okay. We just came back from Maryland to see Ben's best friend, Eloise. Did you have a great time? We had a really good time. It was super special. We are going to post a brand new video about the whole trip on Sunday on YouTube. And yeah, I can't even put it into words. It just made us all feel so great to go see them down there in Maryland. Was the road trip fun? The road trip part? It was? The drive was cool and everything? No? The drive was a little rough. It was an 8-hour drive to go see them down there, but we made it. We stayed for a day. We hung out with Eloise and her family, and we made it back safely. Ben didn't get sick like the last time when we did our Marlboro trip last month, so we are grateful for that. And we have another special thing going on in today's stream. We are going to build a brand new game. Brand new video game. We're going to get started. Huh?
Bryan made a game.
Okay, so Bryan is Ben's oldest brother, Ari's older brother, and he's going to help us make this. Is it a fishing game?
Yeah, so it's a fishing game. So
we'll
talk about it. But we have a new game for Ben that Ben's going to test for the first time. He didn't know about this game. This is a brand new experience, so a little backstory I'll talk about a little later, but Ben is not a fan of fishing. We've taken Ben fishing, he's bored of it. So Bryan thought it would be a good idea to make a fishing game to make it a little more enjoyable and more engaging for him so he can catch more fish. I tested the game a little bit. There's some funny things in there that he put, so hopefully Ben will be able to experience that. But I think, and I talked to Bryan, I said I think there's some room for improvement. So we're going to have Ben test it, try it out, and then we're going to go through some maybe suggested improvements, some bug fixes and things like that. And then after we're done testing, I'm going to bring you guys onto my computer and show you how I do some vibe coding. And I know there's a lot of people out there who are interested in learning about like how to use AI to build these types of games. It's not incredibly hard. It takes a little bit of a setup, but I want to show you guys how we do that.
All right, so we just told everybody we got back from the Eloise trip.
Did we tell what happened at the end of the trip?
Oh, yeah, something crazy happened at the end of the trip.
So before we get into that, I just want to say we did not put that in the video that we're releasing on Sunday.
Yeah, we have a new video on Sunday on YouTube.
Yeah, so we filmed a lot of stuff, but we kept the video more to the core story of Ben and Eloise meeting. There were some things that we were planning on putting in that it didn't fit. It wasn't right. So, but I will say this, when we got there, the trip was okay. You know, Ben needed quite a bit of suction and stuff, but you don't see that in the video. We got there, it was fine, got the hotel room, everything was perfect, hung out with Eloise, it was a great day. We were debating on whether we were going to stay on Saturday or if we were just going to drive home on Saturday. We were leaning toward driving home on Saturday, but if Ben was feeling well enough, we would have stayed on Saturday. However, Friday night at like 10:30, 11 p.m., I forget what time it was.
No, it was Saturday night.
No, it was Friday night. We didn't stay there Saturday. We got home on Saturday.
Oh, I forgot we left on a Thursday. Never mind.
So
me.
So we came home on Friday. So Friday night, we were going to stay the night at the hotel, and the next morning we were going to leave. At 10 p.m. or so, the fire alarm goes off.
In the hotel.
In the hotel. Blaring. I had to pick Ben up out of his bed, like manhandle him, throw him in his chair, get a shirt on him, grab whatever we needed, and just leave. We bolted out. We don't know what was happening.
It was a very short, not very short.
It
We
was
were
like
only
20
out of the
minutes.
hotel room for about
20 minutes or so.
20 or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
The fire department came, and then they told everybody to go back inside, but we were all on edge, and so we decided not even to stay another night.
We just
decided, drove back.
I was awake.
On no sleep.
I asked Ben, I said, Ben, are you going to be able to sleep tonight? He said, no. I said, would you rather just drive home? Ben said, yes. And I was like, all right, let's get the hell out of here. So, drove home. It was a pretty rough drive, but we made it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But we're home now. Everything's fine. That was the fun little drama at the end of the trip. But the trip with Eloise was really good. You guys will see that on Sunday. So if you guys are watching us on YouTube and our other social media stuff, just go check it out. One other thing that maybe we should mention now, briefly, get it out of the way. This trip was pretty difficult.
It was pretty eye-opening.
It was eye-opening for us,
for
sure. Ben needed, it's okay we talk about this, right, Ben? Letting everyone know our plans, our new plans? Okay. So Ben says yes. So it was eye-opening. We had really tried to make Disney happen. We booked it. We had everything planned. But this trip proved to be just a lot. It took a lot out of Ben.
We were pretty worried that we were going to have to turn around on our trip.
Right.
Ben needed a lot of suctioning. He was feeling nauseated. We had some times where we were feeling uneasy about staying.
Yeah.
So we all three had a talk and talked about what it takes to go down to Florida from where we live.
Yeah.
And all three of us did say that it probably isn't possible.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we're breaking the news to you guys. You guys are the first to hear, other than our family, is that we aren't going to go down to Disney World like we originally planned. However, we're changing plans. It's not all doom and gloom, but I want to go back and say 6 months ago when we planned the Disney World trip, all of us really thought that we could make it down there. Ben was getting in the chair 6 to 8 hours almost every day.
Twice.
Do you guys hear us twice? Oh, it must be on the TV. Is it on my phone? No, it's coming from the TV.
Alright, you keep saying what you're saying. I gotta figure out where that's coming from.
Oh, okay. Sorry. What I was going to say, going back to what I was saying, was 6 months ago we planned this trip to go down to Florida in the van, and it was going to take us about 2 days to get there, back-to-back 8-hour drives and stopping at a hotel and just keep going. And we thought it was possible because Ben was getting in the chair for 6 to 8 hours, and he was building up his endurance, and he was really working on it, and he was doing great. But the last month or two, things have been changing with his condition, and it just, we didn't foresee this happening, that he was gonna feel this way going down to see Eloise. And we almost didn't make it to go see Eloise, so thankfully we were able to make it. But should we tell them what we're doing instead? Enough about the sad stuff, okay? Is it okay to tell them? Yeah. Okay, so
list all the things we have planned.
We
still are going to be traveling. We're still going to be doing traveling. A lot of stuff.
We decided to do shorter trips, so we don't think 8 hours is going to be feasible. So we're going to do like shorter trips around New England. There's plenty of stuff to do in New England. Maybe within 3 hours from here, we could go to multiple states still within a 3-hour drive. So we're going to still plan to travel. If you guys saw our Extreme Modus video a few weeks back, we rented an all-terrain wheelchair for Ben, and we took Ben down to the beach, and he touched the ocean for the first time in he doesn't even remember the last time he touched the ocean. So that was really special. We decided to get him an extreme modus.
Yes.
It was a huge cost, but thankfully it's going to kind of replace the Disney trip because we're going to do more trips instead of that one big trip.
Yeah.
So we appreciate everybody that gave to the GoFundMe, and that is what is going to pay for the extreme modus.
Yeah.
It's
So
called.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we're gonna shift. Instead of paying the whatever it was, 10,000+ for Florida, we put some of the money into the extreme modus, which Ben was super stoked about, which we're going to be doing, and then a bunch of little trips, so little hotel stays locally. So thinking Maine and
a lot of
Western
little mini
Mass and,
trips.
Yeah, little mini trips.
Yeah.
All over New England, to exploring different beaches, different trails, just different spots.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be really fun. Plus. Drum roll, we are going to be going to see...
Oh, instead of Disney World, we found tickets to Disney on Ice.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing Disney on Ice in December.
We're going to do that in December, and that's in Providence, right down the street from where we live. So he doesn't have to travel that far to go see Mickey. I'm working on VIP experience tickets for us so he can take pictures with Mickey. Do you want to take pictures with Mickey and do the VIP stuff? Yeah. So we're going to make that happen. So still going to do some Disney kind of thing still. So are you okay with that? Even though it's kind of a bummer, the other stuff, are you okay with that? Yeah, okay.
And we're also seeing Jeff Dunham in a few weeks.
Oh, yes. We forgot to say that. Yeah, we are going to see Jeff Dunham. Jeff Dunham is Ben's all-time favorite comedian.
Yeah.
We're going to see him in the next state over in Connecticut in a couple weeks. So, are you excited to see Jeff Dunham live? Yes.
Yeah, so that's going to be super fun. So, Jeff Dunham is a big one, Disney on Ice, a few other trips. We had mentioned in one of our videos that we would be going to the Assistive Tech Conference in Orlando. Obviously, that's not happening, but we have some assistive tech conferences locally that we're looking at doing with our nonprofit. So if you guys are interested in seeing more of what we do with our switches and with the games we make, we have a nonprofit where we put all of our stuff out there free and open source for everyone to enjoy. And they only require 1 or 2 buttons to play, and they're really fun. And we're going to be showing off one of the new games today, a prototype today. That is what today's stream is all about. So we should get into it because we also need to do a little bit of errands later. So
yeah, so you do that. I'm gonna look at our chat.
Nancy,
thank you everyone for joining us. Sorry if we're not responding right away. We had to get all of that off our chest. We are streaming from 4 different platforms, so if we don't respond right away, we didn't mean to. It's just a lot's going on.
Our cousin's here though. She said she'd love to meet up too. Yeah, so we will definitely be doing. We'll let you know when we're doing some of these little off-road trips. We'll probably be kind of in your neck of the woods anyway. So,
actually, yes, we'll connect. We'll message you because we actually are gonna go up your way.
Yeah.
Probably in the next month or 2. So we'll give you a heads up for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's what we're doing right now, Ben. You are going to test out this fishing game that Bryan made for you. Now, I want to warn you, this game is not complete. It needs a lot of little tweaks, but I'm going to play with you, okay? So we're going to play it together, and we're going to try to catch some fish together, okay? So I have some ideas for how to improve it based on how we made games in the past. This is Bryan's very first game he's made for Ben, and we are going to be testing it out. So Ben did get these buttons. These are actually not new buttons. These are specially made buttons that the Switched Adaptive Toys guys made us. So we have a partnership with them. We work with them. These are actually the same buttons that we donate. Well, I should say, they're not the same. They're very similar buttons that we donate. These are actually special prototypes that Eric at switchtoys.org made for us. So they are lower profile, so that way Ben has less accidental clicks. So if these work well, we may have him print out more of these, so that way we can donate these in our Switch kits. Right now, we have the standard size Switch kits, which have the 3-inch buttons, and then we have the 1 3/4-inch buttons. So if anyone is looking for switches, we do have a program through our nonprofit that we donate the Switch kits. That includes the USB device, the splitters, the buttons, instructions on how to use them. They are on our website. If you go to narbefoundation.org or you go to switchedgames.org, you can access those. and you guys can submit your application. I don't know if we have any this quarter. We might be out. It might be re-rolling up in October, so you might have to wait a month. But yeah, please, we donate these. We donate like 12 a quarter. They're a rolling thing, so as we get more people, the better, because we want you guys to be able to play these games too. All right, here we go. Ben, are you ready?
Are you feeling okay?
You feeling all right? Yes. Okay. Click your spacebar button. Your left button. Let it go. Tools. There we go. Okay. So let's find the fishing game. I am going to bring the camera around so people can see what you're doing. Actually, I'll turn you around a little. How's that? Is it better if I just turn you?
System settings.
And people can see what you're doing.
Settings.
So it's in games. It is in
System
it is a
settings.
new game in your settings. Guys, I will turn Ben, and then you guys kind of see the game he's playing. And I'll explain what's going on. You guys can kind of see Ben's reflection in the screen too. Okay, go to games, and I'll play with you to help you out. Can you turn your head? Can you turn your head to that switch? Let it go. There you go. Now hold it.
Settings. Games. Games menu.
So this is a custom app. If you guys are new here,
Benny's Matchy Match.
this is a custom app that I made in collaboration with Ben to give Ben the best experience possible.
Dice.
So it's going to be on a different page. Here, let me
baseball.
help get you there. I'll help get you there because I don't want it to.
Next page.
It is right down there. Okay, so hold this one down.
Previous page. Sort. Recent. Reset.
So this is gonna. So Ben holds down his left button to scan
Filter.
through the options. I'm helping him right now a little bit.
Back to main menu. Benny's Fish Master.
All right, let's see what this is all about. So this is a very simple prototype. Let's see how it works. All right.
Faster line. Work the catch at your own pace and sell what you reel in for better gear.
Okay, so this is how it works.
Nothing here is timed.
So there's no timing.
$20.
You have $20.
Press space to scan.
You have to do 3 different lakes. You have 0 lakes cleared. So let's go down to how to
Exit
play.
hub.
Let's go to how to play.
Settings. How to play.
All right, let's try it out. Let's see what Bryan put in here for how to play.
How to play. 2 keys. That is all. Got it.
Whoops.
Nothing highlighted.
Aw,
Got it.
it's because you clicked on accident.
Benny's Fish Master.
Let's try it again.
How to play. How to play.
All right, let's hear it.
2 keys. That is all. A short press of space moves the highlight to the next choice. Holding space for 3 seconds scans by itself until you let go. A short press of return picks whatever is highlighted. Holding return for 1.5 seconds goes back 1 step, or opens the menu. To cast, scan the directions and press return to lock one in. Then hold space to charge the power meter and let go to stop it. Letting go never throws the line, it only stops the meter, so you can stop, here where the cast.
Okay, so it's just like your other
again
games.
to add more. Press return to cast. The meter stops at full and stays there, so holding too long is never worse than letting go at the right moment. A longer rod throws further and reaches deeper water, and the lake is shorter in some directions than others, so direction matters too.
That's cool.
When something bites, one side of the screen glows and fades like a lamp. Blue on the left means press return. Red on the right means press space. There is no clock, the light waits as long as
So
you
I'll have
need,
to reverse
and
that,
how bright it is
but
means nothing.
Your right is
Missing a step
return.
only lowers the catch
So we
score.
probably want
A very
red.
low score means jump comes up instead of the fish. Sell your catch in the creel, then spend the money on bait and rods. Swap bait is on the
Yeah, we'll have to
menu,
swap the buttons,
so you do
that's
not
okay.
have to go through the shop for it. Press space to scan.
Okay,
Got it.
let's go. Let's try it out. Okay, let's just go
Benny's
fishing.
Fish settings. Exit to hub. Go fishing at Cedar Hollow Pond.
Let's go fishing. Cedar Hollow Pond.
Cedar Hollow Pond.
All right.
Catch 3 largemouth bass. 0 of 3.
Okay, we gotta catch three
Far left.
three
You can reach
largemouth
weak bed and
bass.
shallows this way.
Where do you want to throw it?
Landing in shallows. Some fish, largemouth, left. You can reach weak bed and shallows this way. Landing in shallows.
Want to try that one?
Some fish, largemouth, left locked.
Okay.
You can reach weak bed and shallows this way.
So I think it's this
Hold
button.
space to charge the cast.
How
Let
far
go
do you
to
want to throw
stop.
it? That's right there. You want to throw it really far?
Full power.
Alright, full power. Throw it.
100%.
Let's see how
About
far it goes.
75 feet. Back to direction.
I don't know what
Press
happened.
space to scan.
It's a prototype, so we're just testing it out. Brian made this. I blame Brian.
Left locked.
So you just gotta click
You
it
can
once.
reach weak bed and shallows this way. Hold space to charge the cast.
So
Let
return
go to
hold.
stop.
Okay, so we gotta make sure that you just click it once. So it needs to have a better.
Full power.
Alright, just click it once and let go.
100. Casting
There
1.
you go.
Something's on the line.
Something's on the line. Okay, so you
Follow
gotta
the
press
light at your
return.
own pace. No rush. Good. Step 2 of 2. Red light on the right.
Alright,
press
press space.
Caught a black crappie.
Okay. Okay, so you have to
2.7. Continue.
you have to do it in order. So if it is this side, it's space. It's reversed. So Brian just had it reversed, but this side will be click this button. We'll click your left button. This side will be click your right button. Okay. All right. So you caught a crappie.
Continue.
You caught a black crappie. All right. Let's aim somewhere
Far
else.
A
left.
black crappie?
Left. Straight ahead. Right.
Try there.
You can reach shallows and weak bed this way. Right locked.
All right. Hold down
You
the
can reach
space.
shallows and weak bed this way. Hold space to charge
Let's
the
do
cast.
like half,
Let go to
half,
stop.
like right there. Yeah, let it go right there.
67%.
Try that. Let's see what
About
happens.
50 feet. Back to
Oh,
direction.
you have to just let it go.
Press space to scan.
Okay, so we have to fix that.
Right
So
locked.
I'm gonna remember that.
You can
So
reach shallows
holding
and
down
weak bed this way.
the space, the holding down the
Hold
return,
space
you need to
charge
hold
the
it for
cast.
longer than
Let
that
go to stop.
because it keeps going. You're not able to actually click it. All right, so go ahead, click this. Yep. Do about halfway. So get that about halfway. That's more than half, Ben.
72%.
All right, that's
about
fine.
54 feet.
Good. Hit it and let it go.
Mid-range.
Yep, let it go.
Casting
There you
7. Something's on the line.
All right. So now you gotta click this
Follow
button.
the
Hit
light
space.
at your own pace. No rush. Good. Step 2 of 2. Red light on the right.
Hit it again.
Caught a black crappie.
Got another crappie.
14 point. Continue.
Okay. Good. Continue. We'll try again. We'll go for another one. Let's go.
Far left.
Let's go far left. Go
You
ahead.
can reach weak bed and shallows this way.
Hit that one.
Landing in weak bed. Far left lock.
Okay.
You can reach
He
weak
got
bed
2
and
fish
shallows
so
this
far.
way.
He's trying to catch
Hold
black.
space
He's trying to catch
charge the
bass.
cast. Let go to stop.
Let's throw it real far. Right there.
Full power.
All right. Just click it once and let it go.
100%. Casting
There you
1.
go.
Something's on. Good. Step 2. Missed 1. Keep going.
Click this one.
Step 3 of 3. Caught a largemouth bass.
Oh, there you go.
20.9 inches. 6.5.
All right, so we caught one.
Continue.
Good. Caught one largemouth bass. Good. Hit it.
Far left.
Let's go straight
You
ahead.
can reach weak bed and left. Straight ahead. You can
Good.
reach shallows and weak bed this way.
All right.
Straight ahead.
Hold down this one.
You can reach shallows and weak bed this way. Hold space to charge the cast.
There?
Let
Go for it, dude.
63%.
Hit it and let it go.
Casting 6. Something's on the line.
Okay, so you gotta click this one.
Follow the light. Good.
All right, now click that one.
Step 2 of 2. Blue light on the left.
Let it go.
Paused.
Oh, so we gotta
Press
change
space to
that.
scan.
It's
Resume.
too short of a press.
Step 2 of
It's
2.
not hooked up to the
Pause.
scan manager.
Resume.
So Brian didn't hook it up to the scan manager.
Step 2
I'll do
of
that.
2. Caught a black crappie.
Another crappie.
14.1 inches.
Okay,
2.6.
so there's quite a few things we need to fix about this. But that's okay. All right, so let's see if we can do one
Far
more.
left.
Let's do
Left.
far right.
Straight ahead. Right. Far right.
All right, I'm gonna
You
help
can
you.
reach weak bed and
All right, let it
shallows
go.
this way.
There you go.
Far right locked. You can reach weak bed and shallows this way.
You tell me when you want
Hold
to stop.
space to charge the
There.
54%.
Go for it. Click it and let it go.
40 feet.
Look real quick.
Casting
There you go.
far left.
Oh,
You
it
can reach
didn't
weak bed and
cast.
shallows
All right, so that
this
was
way.
that's another glitch. Gotta fix that too.
Straight ahead. You
Try it
can
again.
right. Far right.
Good.
You can reach weak bed and shallows. Far right locked.
All right, hold it down.
You can reach weak bed and shallows this way. Hold space to charge the
There,
car.
or click and let it go.
Casting
There you go.
40. Something's on the line.
Okay, click this one,
Follow the light
Blue.
on. Good.
and then click it again.
Step
So if
2
it's,
of 2.
we'll change it,
Blue
but
light on. Caught a black crappie.
another crappie.
14.8 inches.
Okay, so-
2 continue.
Continue. Let's do it again. Let's go straight ahead. So the Brian put a special fish in here. I don't know if we'll be able to catch it. but
Far left.
I'm hoping we
You
can.
can reach weak bed and shallows this way. Landing in weak bed. Largemouth base, far right. You can reach weak bed and shallows this way. Right. You can reach shallows and weak bed this way.
Try that one.
Straight ahead.
Straight ahead.
You can reach shallows and weak bed this way. Paused. Resume. Swap bait.
Oh, you can swap
You
the
have
bait.
plain worm on the line.
Can you swap
Change
it?
bait.
Oh, you don't have
Plain
any.
worm. Already equipped.
Oh, you don't
Bait
own
and
any.
tackle shot.
Can you buy something?
Bait and tackle shot.
Oh, you can
Change
buy
bait.
stuff. Look,
Nightcrawler.
let's buy a
Bought
nightcrawler.
one nightcrawler.
Let's buy a
Minnow
lure.
Bought one minnow lure. Secret. Starter rod. Cut. Not enough money.
We don't have enough
Shot.
money. Okay, so we can buy stuff
Heavier
here.
base.
That's cool.
Creel. Back.
Okay.
Paused. Creel. Cell catch. Fish finder. Settings. How to play.
All right, where's the
Main
fish
menu.
finder? Let's see what the fish finder does.
How to play.
Don't put anything yet. Hold on.
Settings.
Hi, Donna.
Fish finder. Fish finder. Pick a part of the lake to hear what lives there. Shallows. Shallows. Some fish. Largemouth bass. And black crappie here.
We got some
Weak
new
bed.
people in here and
Largemouth.
stuff. All of our
Weak bed.
regulars are back.
Largemouth bass. Northern carp.
Donna's
And
here.
black crappie
Tiffany's
here.
here.
Drop off. Drop off. Yellow perch here.
Sarah's here.
Your rod cannot reach it yet. Rocky shore. Rocky shore. Yellow perch and rock base here. Your rod cannot reach it yet.
Okay, so you need a
Along the
rod.
road.
You need a better rod to reach it. So that's how that works.
Paused. Settings. How to play. Main menu. Resume. Resumed. Press space to right.
Let's try that.
You
We'll
can
do one. We'll
reach
do one more
shallow,
cast
right locked.
because I think there's a few things we
You
gotta
can reach
fix.
shallows and weak bed this way. Hold space to charge the cast.
Good,
Let
hit it
go
right
to
there.
stop. Casting fifth. Good.
Okay, now click
Step
this
2
one.
of 2. Quarter black crappie.
Oh, another crappie.
11.5 inches. 1.8 pounds.
Okay, that's cool. All right,
Catch. Worth $5.
let's pause this game because I think there's like a lot of little things
Continue.
we gotta fix about it. It's a pretty cool concept though.
Ben, can you see?
Can you see the fish at all? Be honest. No, you can't see it. You can hear it though. You can see it a bit? Okay. Alright. Let's go back. I know that what we need to fix.
Exit.
The
Back
graphics
to
are
main
really
menu.
cool.
Yeah, the graphics look cool. I think we can make them better though. Alright, so
Reset.
hold on, Ben.
Sort.
Let's talk
Reset.
about it.
Previous page.
Alright, let's talk about it for a sec. Okay, so you played it. I don't know if you love it. You need to be honest with me and Bryan, okay? So we're gonna talk about it right now. Because this is like, if he doesn't like it, then we don't even continue with it. We say, alright, Ben hated it, it sucked, we're not doing that anymore. Alright, so I'm gonna talk with Ben and we'll get your input, guys, on stream with what you guys think. Here's my thoughts. I'll leave you my thoughts and then you tell me if you agree. Okay, so I think that the game is okay. Just okay. What do you think? Just okay? Alright. So, just okay. Now, I have this idea that instead of it being so many menus and stuff, it would be more visual and less options. I think there's a lot of options on the screen, so I think if we only had like one or two places to cast, I think that would be better. What do you think? Yeah, okay, so here's my idea. So you know your racing game that you have that is 3D? I think it would be cool if instead of just picking your lake and all that stuff, you go and you drive out on a boat. Would you like that if you drove out on a boat to the location? And then when you are done fishing, it brings you back to shore. And then at shore, you can either upgrade your rod, or you can get more bait, or you can do whatever you want. But it's not going to be something you have to choose a lot of. It'll be something that kind of is self-directed. It'll basically choose for you where you want to go and you say yes or no. Does that sound better? Yeah? Okay, so here's the idea. So it'll be more 3D. It'll still catch the same type of fish. You'll still catch crappies and all that stuff. There is a funny fish in there that he put in. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's really funny. But I'll make sure that when we fix it, make sure that fish is still in there. So a couple things. So do you have what do you think is the hardest part about it? Is it hard to cast and stuff? Yeah, okay, so it's kind of hard to cast, so we need to make it easier to cast. Do you like that you have to do things in order? to catch the fish? You know, turn your head left, right, to catch a fish, or no? You do like that? No, you don't like it? You know what I'm talking about? So like when the fish was being caught, it said, oh, turn your head left, turn your head right, turn your head left. You didn't really like that much? No? Okay, so that's okay. So instead of doing that, I think what we'll do is you can shoot how far you want to cast it, just like your bowling game. You know how you charge it up to cast it? It'll be the same thing. You charge it up, it'll cast into however far you want. There's nothing that will stop you from casting as far as you want. Okay? You don't have to choose a bunch of spots. It'll just be one spot that you cast. When it says catch a fish, it'll give you a sound. So it'll give you like a little beep beep sound, and then if you click it, it'll say missed, right? If you miss it. But if it keeps beeping, beep beep beep, or whatever the sound is, maybe it'll be a sound of a fish tugging. It'll sound like a fish tugging on the line, and it'll glow your screen red, kind of like it was doing. Then you click this button. As soon as you click this button, it'll start reeling it in. Then all you have to do is keep tapping it and clicking it to bring the fish in. Does that sound good? That way it doesn't fail. You won't lose it. You'll lose the fish periodically, but that'll be random. Does that sound kind of cool? Yeah? Okay. Alright, so we'll drive around on a boat to different parts of the lake, right? So instead of a bunch of different lakes, maybe it's just one lake that you can go on, and then just pick different spots of the lake. Would you like that? Or do you care? Do you even give a shit? Then say it! You don't give a shit. Alright, then let's be honest. Do you want to play this game at all? You do. Okay, you just want it to be a little bit less complicated? Yes? Okay, alright. So, alright, do you want me to just play around with it? Do you want me to just play around with it and see if I can get it to work for you? Alright, that's what we'll do. Alright. So, Ben is basically like, I don't give a shit. Just make it play better and make it easier for me to play. Right? Is that all you want to try? Okay, we can do that. So, we'll do that. The store should be a tackle shop too. Yeah, I think so too. Fix it, you schmucks, yeah.
Not too overwhelming. Yeah, the store should be a tackle shop.
So here's my vision. So it'll start with, so if you guys are familiar with Ben's racing game, it is a paper style 3D game that Ben can race in, right, in different vehicles. So my idea is he plays a fisherman that's in a boat at all times, and he goes to the shore, or he goes to the dock, and he leaves from the dock, and the dock has pre-made kind of like tracks that he can go on, and as he's driving, he gets to pick where he wants to pull over to fish. So it'll say, click the red button. Let's say he clicks his right button or his left button. He holds it down for a certain period of time. It'll slowly bring him off the track and then bring him to a place where there's fish. Now, as he's rolling, it'll say, this is a good spot for fish. You could pull over. It'll be very forgiving, so it'll give him like 10 seconds to kind of pull over in that spot. That's where the high fish area will be. Anytime there's low fish area, it'll just say, keep going, keep going. There's no fish here, keep going. And then it'll only stop at places where there's fish, right? That's how it'll be. It'll be the same concept where he has to catch a certain number of fish on the day. It'll be a little bit easier for him to catch the fish. And then when he's done, instead of going back to shore, he can say, do you want to go back to shore or do you want to continue fishing? So he can keep fishing and stuff, and maybe we'll put like secret items in there or whatever. Maybe he'll catch like a treasure chest that'll give him more money periodically, right? So that way he can buy things at the tackle shop. But the tackle shop isn't going to give him options unless he has enough money. So instead of going through the options won't appear until he has the money. Because I think that could be a little bit confusing, is he sees the buttons, it says you don't have enough money. But am I boring you?
Yeah, you're boring.
Oh my god. I am just gonna make the game then. Alright, so do you want to play your games? Do you want to play some games while I go work on this? You sick of me talking about it? You want me to just do it? Yes? Alright, fine. Alright, Ben is sick of me talking about it, so we will just do it. How about a game like Operation where Ben gets to be a doctor and uses a fishing pole to take out an appendix? Yeah! You want to play Operation? No? No. Alright, we'll work on it. Okay, so I'm going to go work on it right now, guys. So this is going to be a slightly different type of stream. We're going to be hanging out with me, my brother, maybe my buddy Nick if he's around. We're going to be working on this game for the next probably hour and a half or so. After we work on this, we might not finish it today, but after we work on it, we will come back up here. We will say see you later to Ben and family, and then we'll end stream. So consider the stream will probably be on for another hour and a half or so. But if you guys don't want to watch the gaming part or the part where I'm actually like creating the games or learning how to do that, don't worry. You don't have to. You can step away. You can come back in about 90 minutes and hang out with Ben for the last like 10 minutes or so. If I have the game ready, he'll test it. If not, then we will test it next Thursday. Does that sound good?
We always have the live streams available as a replay. So if you want to check this live stream out tomorrow, you can.
Yeah.
And see what happened. So you got options.
You got options.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am going to go downstairs. I'm going to leave this camera up here. Hopefully no one breaks it. But I'm going to head downstairs, guys. Nancy, the camera's right behind you right here. Just a heads up.
Okay. Let me push this up more. Okay, as long as the dog doesn't go back there, it should be okay.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I am going to go switch the camera.
Alright, guys.
So let's do some vibe coding.
Ben needs, you need lunch.
All right, that doesn't look so good. Let me, I don't know what's going on with this filter. It's not filter, it's some weird thing going on with the camera. Let me unplug it and plug it back in. Hang on. You guys should still be able to hear me. All right. All right, I don't know what happened there, but we fixed it. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. So this is going to be a little bit different. I am going to be working on this game. I don't know if my brother is here. He said he would join me, but he also works, so he may or may not be available, but that's okay. Going to be in our Foundation Discord. Okay. All right. So, first things first. Okay. So we are going to have to modify this game quite a bit, and I'm going to be using a program called Visual Studio Code. So this is what I use in combination with some other stuff for AI use. So we are going to be getting into that. All right, so first things first, if you guys are interested in learning how to vibe code, make your own stuff, everything I build is basically JavaScript, HTML. They're basically websites, right? The games are essentially websites that have game elements in them. And that's how we make them free and open source on our website, switchgames.org. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up my Claude. And I use Claude to do my planning phase. So if you guys can see my planning here, we'll do a new chat. So what we're going to talk about with Claude right now is the game that my brother made, right? And I'm going to give him I'm going to give Claude, I'm going to give him I'm going to give him two things to reference. So he has two folders. He has a folder that he can access. So I can add the folders here. I'm just going to go into Ben's software, and I'm going to go into Python projects, and I'm just going to go into I'm just going to select this. So let's allow it so it can see everything. All right. Now I'm going to talk to it essentially how I talked to you and Ben earlier to kind of get a better planning phase for for this. So we're going to create a master plan. So how does this work? So right now I am in Claude. If you guys are familiar with AI, LLMs, you can use any one you like. Use Gemini, ChatGPT. I prefer Claude right now for planning. And that's what I'm going to do. Now, what I would typically do is use Claude's Opus 5 because that is one of the higher, one of the smarter LLMs, one of the smarter models, one of the better models, flagship models, if you will. I think Fable and Mythos is their flagship, but Opus is really good at planning. So I'm essentially going to tell Opus that we have this really cool fishing game for Ben. And we want to make this game a little bit more simplified, and we want to give it some different features and stuff like that. But before I do that, I wanted to see if my brother was going to hop into Discord and talk to me about this stuff. I don't know if he is. This is his game, so I was hoping he would. I thought you said something in. Bryan, I am in our Discord. Should we just do a chat? Do you not want to do that? I don't know. But before we do that, I'll talk to him, and we'll go through kind of the different things that we need to add or change. So the few things that Ben was having a hard time with was it wasn't hooked up to his scan manager. So the scan manager needs to be hooked up because that is what tells that basically gives it the information for how long like holding down a button will open a pause menu. So we got to make sure that the pause menu isn't opening immediately when he holds down the return or spacebar button like for a short period. It needs to be a longer period of time. Or we remove that entirely and we put the pause button on a totally separate scan menu. So as he scans, it'll open the pause menu. So it'll say cast, pause, return to dock or something like that. So those will be his options when he's fishing. Another one is he had a hard time with the cast mechanism for casting to different locations. So I think what we need to do is just do a single cast location, but it'll be a 3D game that will get him to different spots of a lake, right? So he'll go to different spots of the lake. It'll be kind of generated based on, whatever AI wants to build. We'll kind of massage it to make sure it looks okay. And we want to make it look very similar to his racing game. So if you guys have not seen his racing game looks like this. Let me pull it up just so you can see it. Oh, hello. Can you hear me? Hello? Okay. So you are now on stream. So just so you know, they can hear you as well. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to just show them kind of my idea for what it would look like. So this is kind of the racing game. The racing game, we'll just go to, I don't know, car race. That's fine. So this is how it looks. Basically, the game would run kind of like this, where he's on a boat, and it would say, hey, the fishing spots would show up on the boat, and then he would turn to that fishing spot. As he turns to that fishing spot, it'll say, do you want to fish here? He could say yes or no, right? If he doesn't want to fish there, he can go back to a different fishing spot. But it'll be on a single track, and it'll be on one spot, so that way he can get to where he needs to go for his fishing adventure. So that's kind of my thought. You can use your mouse or your touch to play this game as well, which is really cool. But that's kind of my idea. Since we already made a game that works really well, that looks pretty cool, I figured that would be a really nice kind of feature to have. It's kind of like a 3D fishing game element. So when my brother gets back, we'll discuss a little bit more, and then I'll open up Claude and we'll kind of talk through it. How do I talk to Claude here? I don't even know. Can I talk to Claude? Chat. Here we go. Is that right? Co-work? Chat? Hello. I don't even know if I can chat with this guy right now. Usually I can. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So, I don't know if I need to use the, let me try the Claude on here. Okay, so it's pulling up here. That's interesting. Oh, maybe it's because my microphone is in use. I don't know. Usually, I just like to talk to it because it works a little better when I'm just communicating with my voice. But I can record, I guess. We'll try that out once Bryan gets back. So, let's say. So I guess with TikTok and Facebook, it's not going. It's not good with the portrait mode for live. Oh, I can add a second screen here. Let me see. Add source. I forgot we could do that. Maybe that'll work. Whoops. I can put it down here. You guys kind of see what I'm working on. It's not gonna be the easiest thing to see, but that's probably as good as it's gonna get for now. So if you guys are interested in kind of what I'm doing, so for those of you on TikTok watching in portrait mode, we're gonna be fixing, or not fixing, we're gonna be modifying a game my brother made. This is fishing game. So essentially, he made this cool fishing game. It has a lot of potential. We just got to modify it. So it's a fishing game, very cool concept, but I think we're gonna like make it a little bit less. Since we're building this for Ben, we're gonna make it have less. It's gonna have less decision fatigue. So that's the biggest issue right now. Okay, you're gonna hear me talk to. I'm gonna undo my push to talk, so you'll hear me talk to chat, but also you. So just a heads up. Okay. Can you hear me? Hello. Okay. So Ben and I have decided that there's a lot of decisions to make on the screen when we're playing your game. Very cool concept. I was hoping he would see the dingus fish, but he didn't see it. We're trying to catch it. He hasn't seen it yet, so I don't know if it's even an option to catch it. I haven't caught it yet. Have you caught it in the game? Oh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, the nigga. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I thought it was. Okay, so I thought it was like at random catch. Got it. Okay. So cool. All right, that's good to know. So here's what we found with the game. So just so you know, and this is for anyone else who's watching, who wants to build some games. I know there's some people in our Discord, some people who watch our stream, who are interested in building games or have built some games. So Ben specifically has his ability to move his head left and right is okay, but he has a little bit of fatigue that happens. So the games that we build for him need to be very forgiving. So this game has a lot of decisions and has a lot of stuff on the screen. So I think we just need to simplify it. So it's going to be kind of a rewrite of the whole game, but it's going to be the same kind of concepts. It's going to keep all that logic that you put in there, except it's going to kind of narrow down kind of some of the stuff for Ben to play. So for example, instead of like picking a direction for where to cast, I think it'll be he just drives a boat into a spot, and that spot is just one spot to cast in. Once he can basically create the power for where to cast in that spot, but no real direction. It'll just be kind of one spot. I think that'll be easier for him to play. And then we'll remove like the power and direction kind of bar at the bottom, and we'll make this a 3JS thing. So instead of it being 2D where he's going around, it'll be just a 3JS game. Now, are you okay with that? This is going to blow apart your 2D game that you have right now. Okay. All right. So let's bring up Claude. We're going to just do, so this is my workflow, Bryan. I know you were asking about workflow a little bit. So I have my folder set up on here. So it's looking at his PC hub. I don't know if you can see my screen on, I can probably pull it up on Discord too, so you can see. So yeah, I'll just share my entire screen for you. That way you can see it there too. It should be fine.
Hey, just a heads up.
Yeah.
I can't hear Bryan on YouTube.
You cannot hear Bryan.
No, I don't know.
Oh, Bryan, say something.
I'm saying stuff right now.
Okay. So say something again.
I'm saying even more stuff right now.
Okay. We can hear you. All right. I think I just need to increase your volume on the stream. Nancy said they couldn't hear you. So anyway, okay. So they can hear you. So what I do is I don't typically talk to Visual Studio Code's Claude. I actually just open up Claude in its own desktop mode with Opus. And I will explain what I want it to do. And it will create a markdown file for the game I'm trying to build. Now, the thing that sucks about this is it's not going to open up my microphone because I think it's in use, between Discord and streaming. So I'm just going to record my voice and just speak whatever. So we have a game called Benny's Fishmaster. Benny's Fishmaster is pretty cool. Ben has a bit of decision fatigue when he's playing this game, and we think we want to merge this game style with Benny's racetracks. So essentially a paper-looking 3D type game that has very similar controls to the current Fishmaster game. Instead of having a direction and power bar at the bottom, for the lake mode, it is going to just be a standard cast in a single direction based on wherever you land on the lake, and you will have the ability to catch the fish by clicking one of the buttons, preferably the right button, the return button, to catch a fish. It'll have an indicator for when the fish is hitting the line. When you click it during the indication, you will then reel it in. It'll tell you to press the button or let go of the button to reel it in. And I think that'll be the easiest way to do it. The other thing to note about this game is it's going to be kind of a rewrite. It's not the same style of game. It's going to be more in line with the game of the racetracks game, where you're going to be on a boat. You're going to be a fisherman on a boat at the start. You have an entire lake to troll with a bunch of different areas that you can get to. Once you pick an area, so if you're on the straight track for trolling for a spot, it'll give you indication that there are fish in specific areas. So as you're kind of trolling around, it'll say fish are here or fish are not here. And then you will click the button, like the right or leftmost button, depending on what the spot is for those fish. It'll be pretty forgiving, so giving like a 10 or 15 second time period to get to that spot. Once you're in that spot, it'll then fade to the fishing mode. It'll still be 3JS. It'll still show the same type of boat, and you're on the area. You're in the area. Okay, so it just gave up. I'm gonna let it. It does see when I'm just talking to it open mic, it'll just kind of talk back to me. But when I'm recording, it doesn't work the exact same. So I'm gonna let it kind of think through its thing and see what this is, and then it'll ask me a bunch of questions. So that's the cool thing about using Opus as well. It is, you just get your ideas out there, you just talk to it. It'll say, okay, I see you have a game that is a racetrack game. It sounds like you want to turn that into a fishing style game. And we're going to combine this fishing style game with all the little things in it and just bring it into a 3JS mode with some more simplistic controls. So that's kind of where we're going with it. So this is saying the rewrite Fishmaster gets rebuilt into Racetrack's engine, 3JS, paper, diorama look, same vendored 3min.js, yep, same type of art style. Kill the decision fatigue, right? New trolling layer, so replaces cast direction, yes, so that's going to be what that is. So essentially the way this is going to work is the game is going to start with a menu that is essentially your play game, settings, and then main menu. So instead of having the menu with different lakes and different shops and things like that, you actually are going to be playing the game, and you're going to be going to different spots to access those things that are typically in the menu of the current game. So for example, you're going to play the game will load you in a boat on next to a dock. The dock will have a bait shop next to it. You can say go fishing, or it could say shop or go into the bait shop, right? So if you don't have any money, obviously the bait shop isn't going to have anything in there for you. But if you go fishing, it'll open up the racetrack mode where you're actually, not the racetrack mode, but the trolling mode where you're trolling for a fishing spot. The idea will be when you start the game, you will have different achievements or different, what do you call it, quests, that you have. So catch 3 big mouth bass or whatever is in the current game, and those are going to be kind of like on your list for your achievements. When you do those achievements, it'll say go back to dock, and then you go back to the dock to turn them in, and then you can go into the bait shop and buy more stuff. But it's going to be less decisions because it's going to be on a singular track, kind of fed to you, your options. Does that make sense, Brian?
Yeah, that makes sense. Kind
of.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say, kind of, instead of choosing everything every time, it's like you said, it's a track, and
Right.
it's just like the gameplay loop itself becomes bigger. Fish, bait shop, fish, bait shop versus.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. One challenge with like designing a game for Ben when I live on the other side of the country is, okay, I'm gonna build this using the standards that you've put in all the previous games from the repo.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to respect all of those, but I still don't know how, like, once the end product is produced, how the end user is going to respond to it, because I don't have Ben right there to iteratively test with. So
Yeah. How should the reel in place work? Okay, so hold it until landed. Let me see. Hold to reel with tension. Simple press release prompts. I think press and release prompts would be good. Hold to reel with tension. I don't know what that would look like. We'll put that. We can change it later. What carries over from the current fish mass? So fishes, rods, prices, PNGs. Yeah, so that's all staying. We want to keep most of the stuff you built. I like the stuff you built. I like the idea of like the little quests and stuff. I like the money. I think that just changing, like picking a lake to just trolling a lake would make more sense. That way it's easier for him to get from spot to spot and make him feel like he's actually like on a boat fishing too, I think. Instead of like a scan and select for the menu.
Sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure. One of the biggest like challenges I had thinking of was how he was going to reel in a fish and make that a part of the game, and not just, okay, click a button. That's why I went with the kind of follow the sequence and left right sequence of clicking to get the right, to land the fish or to get a better quality fish.
Yeah.
But if that's fatiguing, then obviously we got to change it.
Yeah, it's just well, then it just, there's so much stuff on the screen. Ben, like we'll use any of his games as an example, right? Like bowling is very simple. Play game, aim, charge, shoot. Like super simplistic. Same thing with like his racing game. Pick a track, just put yourself in line with where you need to go to get the items or to avoid obstacles. Keeping it very simple is like where the sweet spot is for Ben right now. That's why like the game that we had talked about before, which I mentioned on stream, like the choose your own adventure game, I think that'll be good because it's going to be less decisions. It's going to be just 4 decisions. It's the story's going and he picks 4 different things. It basically walks him through. He doesn't have to do a bunch of like sorting through his inventory or anything like that. It'll kind of guide him along the way. So if we can have games that kind of are on a track in general, or very like A, B, and C approach, it's easier because when you have too many of those too many decisions, it's, like you said, it's decision fatigue for him, and it becomes boring. He just gives up on it. He's like, I can't right now. So but games like baseball and football is like his favorite game right now. He's playing it right now. I'm looking at him on the screen on on our camera. He's playing football right now. He loves that game. It's very, very easy for him to play. It's 4 decisions. He gets to choose where he wants to pass to. When he chooses a person to pass to, it'll say he's open or covered, and he'll know like whether he can pass to that person or not. Do you think Ben would be into something like Oregon Trail? I think he would be into Oregon Trail if it was the same idea, where if it was less decision fatigue and more just straight gameplay with like A, B, C, D decisions, and then it tells him what happens like during those decision points, right? It needs to be kind of fed to him a little bit more, right? So that way he can have less to decide on.
I think he has to be motivated by the subject matter too. Like Ben likes baseball and he likes football, so I think having the game be something that he's already interested in is
Yeah.
also helpful. Like if we dropped him in front of like just straight up Oregon Trail, he'd be like, "This is boring.
Right.
I hope everyone dies of dysentery."
Yeah. The other thing too is Ben Ben isn't keeping. Oh, he has low vision, right? So he has to know for this game particularly, like he has to know how much money he has. He has to know what's available in the bait shop, whether he can buy a new rod and reel, right? Even if you replace that with something he's really interested in, he would still get fatigued with all those decisions, right? Just knowing how much money he has and he can't see it on the screen. Like he has to go somewhere to actually have it text to speech the amount of money he has. Then he has to go somewhere to listen to what's in the tackle shop or what's in the bait shop. And then he has to listen to each and everything and understand like how much, each item costs, whether he has enough money for it, buying it, and then going to a place that he can, fish that gives him more access to fishing. Like that's a lot of stuff that Ben, um, at this point, it's very hard for him to keep track of, right? So just keeping it very in line with like A, B, C, D, kind of on a track, and giving him like more freedom to just, just play. With very simple controls will be, I think, more beneficial. So, like for example, there'll be a money system in this. When he catches his, 3 bass and he earns like his $50 or whatever, right? It'll say go back to the shop. He goes back to the shop. The shop will offer him things that he could get, right? It'll automatically do it. He doesn't have to go through and like pick anything. Once he hits a threshold, it'll say, do you want to buy this? That way he doesn't have to go into the menu and try to sift through what he can afford, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, streamline it a bit for him so that way
Yeah.
he doesn't have to, fewer decision points, fewer clicks.
Right. So I think once we kind of have that nailed down, it'll be better and easier for him.
I mean, I think the key thing too is like I made this game over the course of like a few days, sitting down for a few hours at a time. So
Yeah.
rewriting it is not, it's not like we're paying a software dev,
Right.
$500 an hour to rewrite this thing. We're gonna sit down with Claude and be like, hey, take the bones of this and retool it so that it's a little more Ben focused, and it's gonna take this hour and a half or something to get done.
Yeah. And it's not going to be like, I don't think we're going to be able to finish it today, but what I want to do is get the plan and then have Claude work on it. And then we can kind of see what it looks like. Yeah. Because right now it's working on it. So let's see what the progress is. So pre-existing, I don't know. Someone's here, I think. So let's see what this says. Let's see what the output is. Sorry, guys. Dogs barking. All right, where is my doc? Let's see. Games. Fishmaster 2. Okay. So let's see what this one is. Okay. So we got working title. That's fine. Engine, yes. Okay. Status design only, nothing built yet. Okay. So this is a rewrite, not a patch. Fishmaster is the 2D canvas. This is gonna be a brand new game. Number of open decisions per fish. So all this stuff. 6 open questions, most of them abstract. Yep. Okay, so this isn't quite getting what I was trying to explain. So I'm going to re-explain this to Claude, so that way it can rewrite that a little bit. Not quite, Claude. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to actually talk directly to it again. So the idea will be, instead of the game will start with the basic menu of play, settings, exit. When you click play, it brings you into the actual basically the dock. You're on a dock. Next to the dock is the tackle shop. You can highlight either the boat or the tackle shot using spacebar, right? It'll say when you click on the boat, when you highlight the boat, that means you're going to go fishing. When you highlight the tackle shop, it'll open the tackle shop. Okay. When you highlight the boat and you're about to go fishing, it'll give you, every time you go into the boat, it'll give you some new quest. Okay. Automatically. You go into the boat, it'll give you a quest, and you are automatically on the lake driving. Okay. It'll just give you places to drive all over the place. All right. You just go wherever there are fish. So it'll be random spots on the lake as you're driving around. Okay. When you see a spot that says there are fish, you turn far left until you reach that spot, or far right, depending on what side the fish are on. That's how that'll work. It's not going to give you any choices per se. So this is how I iterate. I literally just talk to it the whole time. What about that game Dragon's Lair, where it's just decisions you make? I don't know that game. Do you know that game?
Yeah, that's a pretty old adventure game. It had like it was like a drawn style graphics. And it was very classic. Just choose the outcome and watch the animation.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So for those of you who are just joining us, maybe you've been here for a few minutes, you're like, what is going on? Ben tested a new game that my brother built. He's on Discord call with me. We're talking about it. If you can hear him, it's a little low in Discord. It's a little low in OBS. I don't know how to increase it. It's just stuck like at negative 30 dB. I think my mic is fine, but for whatever reason, I can't figure out how to increase his audio. I don't know if I need to bump it up.
Am I still really quiet on stream?
You're not quiet to me, so let me see. Talk again. Let me see if that increased it.
I am talking again.
I'm gonna increase you to 20 dB. All right, good. Talk again.
All right, giving it another shot.
All right, yeah. Now you're fine. Okay, so there's a totally different setting for where the audio is that I just found out. Okay, so you should be fine now.
All right, cool. Computers are dumb.
Yeah. Okay, so right now I'm talking to Claude. If you guys can see my screen, I'm literally just talking to Claude about what this game is going to be. It has reference points. The cool thing about building all these games with Ben is that I have all these reference points for games that Claude can build off of very easily. So when I build a game for Ben, it is much faster and much more efficient than, let's say, Bryan trying to build a game from scratch. What he would have to do is reference point all the different games I built and have it. I don't know if you have that markdown file. Do you have that markdown file that I created for this? Let me see. Do you have that one, Bryan? I forget, where is it?
I think I do. Hold on.
Okay. Because that one will help. But anyway, the idea is these AI LLMs will work off of this text file that basically gives it rules. So for example, Ben has a bunch of little systems built into his hub that do things like control like his voice manager, like what voice he gets, how his scan works with his spacebar and enter, so that way he doesn't accidentally do like multiple clicks. It even has different like rules set, so that way if he holds down spacebar for a certain period of time, it'll scan backwards for intervals, and it knows that stuff because of all the different rules I have set in there. Once you have those rules set up, it's easier to make a game, especially when you have this MD file that says things like, okay, it needs to text to speech everything. It needs to have, like the way Bryan built his game, in theory, is exactly how it should work for anyone who's using two switches, because it works for me. But for Ben in particular, he needs like more stripped down, more streamlined games that are a little bit easier to understand and control. But again, it's hard to know that, like Bryan was talking about earlier, it's hard to know that if you're not testing with Ben constantly. I have the luxury of Ben being here and testing with him. We're constantly making games, making adjustments, and testing and making sure he can play. For example, today I just did an update to his bowling game. So now he has a bowling game on switchgames.org that he can play that has multiplayer, but it also now has like a sonar. So I should say, yeah, sonar, right? Yeah, so it's sonar where it actually makes a sound for as he's aiming. So when he aims his arrow toward the pins in bowling, it'll give him an audio indicator that he is aiming at the right spot. That makes it easier for him to get strikes and actually hit the pins. If he didn't have that, he misses a little bit more. So those are little things that you wouldn't know unless you were testing with Ben. So that's why we're redoing this game. We're keeping a lot of the core things that Bryan built. Things like the quests that he put in there are really cool. The way you just go to different spots and you have the tackle shop, all that stuff is going to stay the same. It's just we're changing the visual elements and making sure that it's less menu fatigue and less choices for Ben. It's going to be on a straight track, you know, and open things up as he goes. Almost like his tower defense game. Ben's tower defense game is the same way. You play the game, you get options that open up to you as you play. So as you get money, when you go back to the bug store or you go back to the exterminator store, I forget what I call it, the bug shop, it opens up different abilities for you as you get the money. So you don't see a bunch of them and then you click on it and says you don't have enough money for that. They only open up when you have enough money. So little things like that will make this a little bit more fun and easier for him. Okay. I'm gonna read chat real quick. Who's here? So Lynn was talking about preseason game against the Pats. Oh yeah, so we haven't really been watching any football, Lynn. We're not like Ben plays football, does not like watching it anymore. He stopped watching it after Tom Brady abandoned us or retired, whatever you want to call it. One other thing I'll mention here, guys, as I'm doing this is there is a usage limit here. So we have our nonprofit pays for our Claude, which is great. So that's one of the perks of being able to build for Switch games, is that it's paying for the AI credits, but it's not that expensive. It's like this subscription would be $20 a month. You actually get a lot of usage, and it rolls over. So you have 5-hour sessions that give you a certain number of credits you can use, and then you have a weekly session limit. And then when you use it all, it kind of goes on a cooldown period, and then you have to wait like a certain number of hours. So this one resets in 3 hours. I assume we'll probably use all of the credits during this session, you know, over the next 45 minutes or so as we build out this game. And then once the cooldown happens, you know, we're probably not gonna have the game completely finished, but we'll finish it another time, maybe off stream. And then next Thursday, we'll come in and show you guys what we built. I think that'll be really fun. I think I have an endoscopy next Thursday, so it might be in the afternoon. We'll show you guys, or maybe we'll make a video about it. But yeah, we're gonna have this game essentially done by next week. And we'll show you guys what it looks like. Let's see. You reach that spot. What happens? Auto fades to fishing. One press to confirm. Let me think. So if you're no, I think it needs to fade to fishing. What the quest you get when you board? What's its lifespan? Sticks until finished. Yes. Back at the dock when the fish in the boat. How does selling work? Automatic on arrival. No, it needs to happen inside the tackle shop. The tackle shop will be basically where you sell the fish to. Do 3 lakes from the current game survive? No, I think it's just 1 lake that grows. Can make it easier. Simplistic. 1 lake from 1 dock, right?
Yeah, 1 lake, 1 dock. I assume if you're gonna catch different fish in different places, the biomes persist.
Yeah, so it'll be like, you know, maybe he can go to like there's a spot that brings you like slightly up a river or something, you know, maybe there's like a, you know, a little delta that you can access or whatever. But we can actually make this a map later. This is probably going to be just an endless lake to start, where it just kind of like opens up, and then as you do more of the quests, it'll open up those spots automatically, and that's kind of like where you persist later in the game. So instead of being like in that front spot of the lake, later you'll be in like a weeded area or like a rocky area. It'll all look the same once you get past a certain point. But once you catch all the fish, it'll give you an option just to go back to the dock. You don't have to like drive back to the dock. It'll just say go back to dock, and then you appear at the dock again. So my vision is you're at the dock, you have the boat, you have the tackle shop. When you click on the boat, you go, and then at the top it'll say what your quest is. It says catch 3, big mouth bass. You just keep driving until you get to a spot that has fish. It'll fade into the fish area, and all you're doing is casting. You're pressing enter to charge the cast. You're casting, right? I don't think you will change your bait per se unless you get new bait. Whatever bait you get at the tackle shop is what you get. So that's kind of the idea. Instead of like swapping bait like per cast, it'll just be based on like if you completed a quest, maybe you upgrade to a different bait, a different rod,
The current way the bait works is each bait gives you a chance of catching different fish to give you, so if you have a quest to catch a certain fish, you can put that bait on. But again, decision fatigue, maybe just you auto upgrade your bait when you go to the tackle shop and you get better quality fish.
Yeah, I think that'll probably be better for this type of game. Like I don't see why you couldn't go and like, for example, if you are going to go out and go on a quest, the quest that persists is what you're going to be equipped for, right? But let's say you just want to troll around and you want to catch different fish, and just mess around. Maybe there is like, we can do like little hidden things where you could change your rod and your fish. You just go to settings, change them out, right? As long as you have them, as long as you had them previously, or maybe at the tackle shop is where you change it out. I don't know. We'll have to think about it. But I think for now it should just be like I said, like like you just described anyway. It just upgrades automatically because we can always add that stuff later, right?
Yeah, same thing with the rod upgrades. If it's not, if it happens automatically or just happens at the appropriate spot, so Ben feels or whoever's playing feels like they've got more capability for the next level, then that's probably fine. Cast further or catch bigger fish or whatever makes you feel better.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe like for the first rod, we just say, hey, how many different rods do you have in here? Is there 3 or 4?
I think there's 4 starter rod and then 3 upgrades.
Okay, so maybe that's something we do is like for the starter rod and for every rod upgrade, it gives you a further cast thing. That'll just be like a visual thing, and it'll know like when you use this rod, it's going to upgrade your potential for catching fish, or not upgrade, but switch the potential for what fish you're going to catch.
Right. Everything in the back end is based on your percentage chance of what fish you're going to catch and how good that fish is, how big it is, all that fun stuff. So all that can happen in the background.
Right.
And just know that each rod gives you that better chance.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can add that in too. Okay, so the dock is 2 things: space to highlight, return to select. The boat, go fishing. The tackle shop, no cooler, no quest board, no conditional list, right? That's way easier. Boarding the boat, you get a new quest handed to you automatically, and you're immediately driving, no screen in between, right? The lake is in open water, not a route. You steer heading just like the racing game, yep. Okay, so let's see. On your machine, if you wind up right in a place, okay, this is fine.
All right, let me ask you this for what you have in mind for the steering. Does the steering actually affect where you functionally end up in the lake, where it's like going back to the biomes? Are you going to choose what lane, and then the lane, left lane takes you to one, right lane takes you to a different biome, and so depending on where you where you're driving is what you're gonna end up in and what fish are
So
there.
my thought is, just like the rods, just like the bait, each quest and each time you get in the boat, like you are only going to be in a biome for that quest or that rod, whatever you're using, right? So as you're driving, it is going to have like pull off areas, right? So instead of having different lanes, it'll be to the right is going to be where the big mouth bass are, right? And you have like a 10-second period where it says, here's like fish finders detecting fish. As it says, go to the right. Ben will push right and hold the right button until he steers all the way into the fishing spot. Does that make sense? So then he
Yeah,
kind of veers off into a fishing spot. If it's on the left side of left, it'll be left. It'll be random though. He can
gotcha.
just
So
keep driving and he can go to different spots. It'll pop up randomly, but it's just like it's the experience of driving a boat around. That's kind of my thought.
right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't he doesn't care about like, oh, I need to go here to get here. It's I've just got a ping that says the fish I need is here, so let
Yes.
me pull off.
Exactly. That way it's less decision
Totally.
fatigue. He doesn't need to know like what biome he's in. It'll automatically kind of update that,
Yeah,
you know.
less stuff to track in
Right.
general.
And then like later if it's like big mouth bass are here, but he knows he needs, perch or whatever you put in there or crappie, it'll be like he'll know like I don't go for big mouth bass. There's not going to be in there. That's not the best spot for it. Something like that, At least that'll give him like a reason not to turn off.
Yeah, that was kind of my like how much do we want to I guess how much do we want to give him the agency to choose versus, you know, have it be on rails. Yeah, there's probably a happy medium so he has a little bit of decision making that he
Yes,
can do, but
I think like obviously he'll be able to yeah, so I think he'll be able to choose like different locations to pull off on to get the fish. I do think there is something to be said about using different rods. Um but having the rods be something that he can switch out at the tackle shop, right? So maybe like maybe at the tackle shop it'll say something like, do you want to take this quest or something, or do you want to take this next, I don't know what you call them, these next missions, right? And during that time it says we suggest using this rod. I don't know what the best option is, but I just don't want Ben to feel like there's too much stuff to do. I want him to just have like the immediate satisfaction of catching a fish and not using like the wrong rod and fucking up and just being pissed off because he couldn't figure it out, right?
yeah, no. He wants like it should definitely be a situation where no matter what choice he makes, there's very little chance that he's going to make a quote unquote wrong choice. It's more about what does he want to do and get him to it very quickly.
So basically what I'm telling it is what we just discussed. So I said, as we get money, it'll automatically upgrade. So the boat will be on a track. The only choices he gets is where we want to pull over to the right or left, depending on where the fish are, if it's the targeted species. It'll be a very forgiving zone to pull over, so that way he can get to those spots. It'll then fade into the fishing mode. I think when he's in fishing mode, maybe, let me add this. So when he's in fishing mode and he's not catching or whatever, he gets the option to scan to. So it'll be cast, keep trolling. Add that too. Kind of like choose your own adventure book, but in game format. Let me see anything else. I miss anything else. Kevin. Hey, Kevin, welcome in. Kevin and Maribeth. Knuckles. Hi. Welcome in. We're creating a game. So those of you who are new here and you're like, what is going on? My brother Bryan, he's in Discord with me. Say hi, Bryan.
Hello.
We are working on a game that he created for Ben. Ben tested the game today. We noticed a few things about it. It's a pretty cool concept. Ben hates fishing. If you guys didn't know that, Ben is not a big fan of fishing. So Bryan thought it'd be a funny idea to make a fun fishing game for him to maybe get him enthused about fishing. We tested it out today. There's quite a few things that we need to modify about it. But it's a very cool concept. It's essentially, it's a standard fishing game. You go around and you go to a lake, you go to different lakes, you catch different fish to complete quests, and then you upgrade your reel, your bait, and then you essentially just keep moving up. And it's like a little, it's a fun little, just a progression, right, with fishing. We tested it with Ben. There's quite a few things like with the controls and with things like decision fatigue. We're trying to modify it. We're going to make it look a little bit more like Ben's racing game, if you guys are familiar. But we're basically taking the same concept that my brother wrote, and we're just moving it into kind of a different format with less decisions for Ben. That way, maybe he'll get a little bit more out of it. So this is just to show you kind of the process of how we make games. All of the games that we've made on switchgames.org go through a very similar process. It is a discussion with AI and with the people we're working with, talking to Ben, seeing what he likes, seeing what he can do, working with people who want to help us out, collaborate, or it's just me. Most of the time it's just me. I just talked to Claude. I talked to Opus at this point. We make a plan for a game. And then based on the controls that Ben has, we implement the game plan. And then after we have it done and in a good spot, we have Ben prototype it. So right now, the tools I'm using, for those of you who are interested, I am using Visual Studio Code, which is free. It's a Microsoft product. Combined with Claude Code extension inside of Visual Studio Code. So you download the extension. To be able to access Claude Code or to be able to use it, you need to have a Claude login and subscription. We are just using the basic subscription. We have the nonprofit team. So right now ours is it's like $8 a month, and we get like 125% usage of standard Claude or Claude Pro. So that's really cool. So we're able to kind of just keep making these games. Now we do run out of tokens and things like that. You do have a usage limit. But for the most part, I can build any of Ben's games that you see on switchgames.org within those limits very easily. I could probably build like 3 or 4 of these games very easily using the limits we have. So if anyone's interested in building games or seeing how this stuff works, we do have a developer guide on narbehouse.github.io. You can also just see how to use AI. We do have like an AI guide, and that is also on narbefoundation.org and switchgames.org. And if you want to play the games, you can go to bennishub.com or switchgames.org, and you kind of see the games that we're building. These games are fully accessible with 2 buttons or 1 button if you use AutoScan, where you only have to use your enter key to play all the buttons, and they're pretty fun. Well, I think they're fun, and Ben thinks they're fun. You be the judge. But we're having a lot of fun playing them. And over the next few weeks and into the winter months, into the fall and winter months, we are going to be building a lot more games. We have a few really ambitious games coming out, or we're going to be working on. And one of them is going to be a a low vision or vision impairment friendly choose your own adventure type game with some AI implemented. So that's going to be really fun. It'll be almost like a dungeon crawler / choose your own adventure game. That'll be fun for people to play who are low vision. Okay, all right, ready? Okay, so this thing says something about a largemouth dingus. Let's see. Okay, so your cats keep trolling details, solve the problem I was stuck on. Ben can't express left versus right with one switch, so left equals space, right equals return. Doesn't reach his rig, but with a card sitting between pulling over and actually casting. Pull over, he regrets cost 1 scan cycle and nothing else. So for one switch, I offer zones at a time. In return, takes the one being offered. So I think the turning into a zone would be just like the racing game for single switch, where the single press of return goes a direction, the next press goes the opposite direction. Okay, so I think it was missing that. So we want all these games to be playable with a single button. Ben's doing okay. He's upstairs playing a game. We're working on a game right now. Harry, welcome in. So the idea of these games is we want all these games to be playable with just a single button. So his racing game, for example, so I'm explaining to Claude right now, if you guys saw me typing, I was just explaining to Claude that his racing game works with a single button too, and I'll show you guys how that works real quick. So let's go into the racing game, Benny's Racetracks. So let's just pull it up here.
Benny's Racetracks.
So if I click play
Choose a
game,
mode.
or if I go to
Benny's
settings and we do auto scan,
Auto scan
one
on.
switch.
Benny's
Okay, we'll just
Racetracks.
play game, play
Choose a
casual.
ride. Race car, motorcycle, or
So
spaceship.
all I need is the
One.
enter key
Go.
to play this game. So if I hold
Right.
down enter,
Left.
it'll swap directions.
Right. Left.
So this is just one button. So it's saying left is the next thing for me to click.
Right.
If I click it and let it go, it'll
One of
just
5.
oscillate. So
4 to
I
go.
stay here. So if I want to go right, obviously I just press one button. Once I let it go, it switches to left. So now my directions shift
Right.
anytime I let go of the button.
Left.
Okay, so that's how you can play with a single button. All right, that's what we figured out for Ben.
Right.
So I am just playing this game with one button,
2 of
just
5.
using enter.
Left.
So this is how the game needs to work for the fishing game. So imagine this being a boat with a lake, and we're going around and we are trying to find fish. So instead of having you go left to pick up these things, you just hold left to get into the zone.
3 of 5.
Also,
Pause.
if you hold down
Continue.
return, it'll go into
Continue.
pause, and then I can restart it, and it's auto scanning.
3.
Everything's auto scanning. So you could play this with
1.
just enter.
Go.
So that's the genius of this. I'm very proud of this little
Left.
of these games, because
Right.
we made these games very forgiving and very easy for someone with a single input to play.
1 of 5. Right.
And that was important because there is a time in the foreseeable future that Ben can only use one button
Left.
to play these games. So I wanted to make sure these were this control was available.
Speed boost.
So
That's pretty slick.
yeah, so that's how it's going to work for the fishing game too. So the fishing game will be the same thing. If you're turning into the fishing point and it says go left and he clicks it once, as he sees himself going right, he could click it again, he'll go left, right, right, left, left, right. And same thing with casting and with going into going back to troll mode. So it'll just auto scan between the different options. When he wants to cast, he clicks it, he holds down the enter key to cast as far as he wants, lets it go, it'll release the cast, and then when he gets a fish bite, it'll give him the indicator. All he has to do is press enter again, he'll start reeling it in, or hook it and reel it in. But I think that'll be pretty standard, pretty easy, and that's another reason why having like a single track is like a lot more feasible. Okay, let's see what this wrote. So I think we're almost there. I think we're almost at the we're done with the planning phase. Let's just see what this looks like. Okay, so thesis Fishmaster, I asked this question before a single fish is on the line. Which lake, which bait? That's wrong. This is all wrong. So I don't know what this is. This is all.
The AI got confused.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the right output. It's getting confused, so I gotta make sure. That's why I like talking to it and being able to stream is cool, but I can't open up my mic to talk to it, which is annoying. I actually might be able to use my phone. That might even be better. Because that way it can talk to me and it can tell me instead of writing it all out and then having me read it and think it off or think about it. Let me okay. Yeah, I wish I could just talk to it and you guys could hear how I talk to Claude. It is so much faster. One lake's the same one. Boat drives itself, you pull over, automatic. Okay, so it's going to build the MD file for what we talked about. It described what it was, but written in that text file, it wasn't right. So maybe I'm just reading it wrong, but
Oh, that reminds me. I went looking for the MD file we talked about, and I don't have it. I couldn't find it either.
it should be on GitHub. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me make sure it's up there. It might not be up there. So under GitHub, narbehouse.com, narbehouse.github.io, it is called, let's see, accessibility.md. It's going to be under Benny's Hub folder. It's called accessibility.md. If you don't have it, it is available on GitHub if you feel like pulling it up. Okay, so we're only going to be on for another like 20 minutes or so. I'm going to see how far we can get with this. And then we'll see if we can actually get it to build. So it's going to build an MD file right now. Once that's done, we're gonna submit it to Visual Studio Code's Claude Code. I'm actually gonna use Opus for that as well. I usually would use Sonnet, which is a cheaper model to use. But to start, I'll use Opus, and then for like the small tweaks, you know, adjusting, like let's say that the lake or the boat looks funky, or like the rod and reel look funky, or it's not casting correctly. I'm not going to use Opus and use all those credits or all that money for something that Sonnet could do or even Haiku could do. So we'll just switch it to make it a little bit cheaper for us, so that way we don't run out of usage. If that makes sense.
That's what I did with the when I was first working on the fishing game. Is I did everything in VS Code, but I set Opus to plan mode, which is something you can do.
Yeah.
And then talked to Opus to plan out like the general loop of the game, and had Opus start doing some of the coding. And then just like you said, for a lot of the fixes and also a lot of repetitive tasks, I switched it to Sonnet to save some tokens.
And that's like the smartest way to build these types of games, or
and then,
anything really.
If you have the hardware for it, to save more tokens, some of these assets, all of these assets, are made by a local LLM that I used, which is pretty interesting to learn about and set up.
I would
and then I
actually
built
like to
a
see that. I'd like to see how you do it because, like, I know you told me, and I've kind of messed around with the workflow, but I haven't gotten it to work properly. So,
we can
have you
definitely dive into that at some point.
have you tried the local LLM within Visual Studio Code, or are you just using it like using like Olama, or what are you using to actually like talk to your MCP?
So so two things I've used, and I need to try a new version. I used Quen in VS Code
Mm-hmm.
briefly a few weeks ago, completely separate from this process, just to mess with the local LLM. And I didn't really do anything with it, so I want to maybe try a new build and get back and try it, or see if I can make an agent out of
Mm-hmm.
it and have Claude call up Quen when I need to do things that are repetitive and save all the tokens.
Yeah.
That being said, for this, I'm using what's called Comfy UI, which it has different prerequisites for if you're on AMD or NVIDIA hardware. But basically, Comfy UI runs a server, and the Comfy UI server loads up several different uh, Python scripts and preloads the image generation models that you need. And then it runs. I think I want to say Claude just wrote the MCP for it. Um, but when I told Claude, hey, I want to shift image gen, you send the prompt to my image gen. How do we do that? It ginned up an MCP server and a Python script to start up Comfy UI, dump the prompt in.
Okay, so you are prompting Claude, like the Claude desktop app.
Yep,
And okay,
I am
got it.
prompting
Okay.
Claude in Visual Studio
Yeah.
to then
Got it. Okay. That's what I was asking. I was wondering if you were still using Claude to prompt to get to that to get to Comfy to actually have it build what you want.
then Claude takes that prompt and dumps it locally
Got
into
it.
Comfy. So that way
Okay.
Claude's not doing any image processing. It's just saying, hey, here's a prompt, here Comfy, you do something with it.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then Claude sees the output.
So the thing that I was gonna try, that I haven't done yet. So I do have Comfy. I do have your kind of your workflow that you kind of told me about. I tested it. I was making those baseball players. It didn't know how to make a sprite sheet, so I just kind of gave up. So I was actually planning on using. There is an image. I think it's called Image Gen in Visual Studio. Let me see if I can find it. Image Gen. I think it's just called Image Gen. Yeah, here it is. Image Gen. So you can use Image Gen, which I haven't done yet, which I'll test at some point, to hook up your GitHub Copilot, which has access to GPT, so you can actually use ChatGPT to build the images. So I can use the credits I have for the nonprofit's GitHub account to make images to see how it works. So instead of using the Comfy UI with my own local hardware, which again is okay, like I have an okay card for it, but since we already have the credits on GitHub, I might as well try to use it using ChatGPT, since we're already paying for it. I haven't used it in a few months, so I might as well be using it.
Yeah, and the thing I've learned as I've messed with the local LLM stuff in image gen is image gen, and I've looked into are there ways to do this? Straight up image gen just does not have the capability to make um, specifically like sprite based assets. Like it just can't keep the pixels consistent from image to image or even on the same sheet. So what ended up happening is for the baseball game, for the sprites that I made for that, Claude created a workflow where it generated reference images using local image gen. So think the silhouettes of baseball players and the activities that they're
So
doing, catchers,
so
pitchers.
it generated that stuff that was in there. I see it in the folder.
Yeah, it generated that
Okay.
stuff independently, and then it used those shapes as a reference for the pixel placement when it made the sprites. So it could say, okay, this thing looks about the same as this reference image I made.
Got it. Yeah, and I don't think they're like I think a lot of the stuff that it built was like I was genuinely impressed that it could do that. I think obviously there's room for improvement. It's just an AI trying to build sprites, but it was actually not bad. Like if you guys play the baseball game, you'll see these little sprites. Bryan actually was able to generate those, which we're gonna improve over time. But I didn't. I know you said you updated them or made some changes. I didn't update that on the website, so I don't know what changed.
It just added the few animations you asked for, like a throwing animation and for the ball to like disappear when someone's holding it. So
yeah. Okay.
just those.
Yeah. Okay, so I did see that. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so I did see that there are some free NES style sprites that you can download online. So I'm wondering if we could take those and use those as references. Apparently, from what I was reading, these LLMs have a really hard time with low pixel stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's I mean, like anything where you have to have consistency from your through your models, especially on a pixel, like they because it's diffusion based, quote unquote, and it uses basically it denoises a picture, you don't get the same stuff every time, and so it has a really hard time being consistent. Um, that being said, I have been looking into, and I want to see at some point what the 3JS makes for the fishing game, because I would love to get into, at least to learn about it, the local generation of like 3D models, which is something Comfy UI can also do. And then see about exporting that to like a file that 3JS can use.
Okay, well, we'll see what this thing does.
Yeah.
I mean,
Gameplay first.
it built that it built that racing game very quickly and very like the racing game. I was super impressed with how quick it made that and how easy it was to kind of mold it. Um, Even from like creating, because that whole thing has like endless. It's basically an endless landscape that you race on. Well, for the casual mode. So it's just that's kind of my thought for this lake. You know, is that this will build almost like an endless lake, and as the biomes open up to you, the lake will open up over time, right? And it's like you don't need to have a specific map. It's just an endless lake that you fish on.
Yeah, if it can procedurally generate the lake, and then, you know, if it does a good job with like the boat model and the, you know, the static images that like the tackle shop model, then you don't need to generate those. But I'd be curious if I could like generate a boat that can then be put into the 3JS map, and that's Benny's boat. Maybe there's a little guy in the boat and he looks real mad because he hates fishing.
Yeah. Well, that's the so I don't know if you saw it, but this thing had a proposal. I was reading it, I didn't mention it, but there's a proposal in this where when it goes into fishing mode, it's going to be an over the shoulder shot of you with your rod. That's what it says. So we'll see if it actually does it.
Yeah, I'd be curious. Like I said, if we can do, you know, pre-made 3D models that the AI isn't making and import those into the folder so that way it uses those, you might get better results where you need consistency, and then keep like the map that it generates and all that stuff,
Yeah.
you know, whatever it makes.
We'll see. I just told it to build it, so it has this MD file. So just so people who are watching can follow along. So what we just did was we had a conversation. We said we have two games that we want this to be like. Bryan's base game, which is a 2D fishing game where it has, you know, it's scan and select. You're just choosing options and, you know, casting and trying to catch fish. With little quests and stuff in between, or that's the whole point. And you upgrade your rods and bait and all that good stuff and shop. We're taking all that stuff as a concept and we're kind of streamlining it so that way it's on a singular track or more on a singular track to reduce decision fatigue for Ben. And we're going to make the game, instead of it being 2D, we're going to make it in 3JS, similar to our racetrack game. So Ben has a game that is essentially a racing game that Claude Code built very quickly. So we're going to be using that type of style and merging it into Bryan's game. So we will effectively have a 3D game that has all of the stuff in Bryan's game kind of built in. So what it did was it built a spec sheet, this little MD file called the Markdown file, that tells it exactly how to build it. It says what it is. It talks about the missions. It talks about the different biomes, different bait, item tables, all that stuff. All right. It essentially built this, what is it? Almost 1,000 lines of instructions for how to build this game that we had a basic conversation with Opus, with Claude about. So, we'll see what it looks like when it's done, or once we get like a good solid base. We'll see what it looks like. If we need to kind of start from scratch, we will. This is okay. This is kind of vibe. This is why it's called vibe coding. We're just kind of going with a vibe.
Yeah,
We'll
I think one thing to call out too is this whole process. I never touched any actual lines of code. I don't think you've touched any actual lines of code.
I have not. I I know how to go in and modify some things. Like in JavaScript, I've learned like where a lot of stuff lives. So, for example, if there's certain elements inside of one of these folders or inside of one of these files, I can go in it and manually change it. But just telling the AI what you see and what you need changed is way faster than trying to change stuff yourself. And I'm not saying you shouldn't learn how to code. I'm not saying this is a cop out for that. It kind of is, kind of isn't. But most developers these days and programmers are coding this way, which is actually wild. I was actually listening to a podcast recently, Bryan, or just last night. One of these guys, I forget his name. They go. I think you probably know who he is. Let me see if I can find out his name. Let's see if you know who this guy is. David Hansen, right? David Hennemeyer Hansen. Do you know that guy? Do you know who that is?
I don't. I don't think so. The name kind of sounds familiar, but I can't place him.
Okay, he's like one of those. He's like one of the software dorks. He's like a race car driver, apparently, an entrepreneur. Anyway, he does a bunch of stuff. But he used to talk shit about like vibe coding and stuff like 2 years ago, and now it's like the only thing he does. He says it doesn't even make sense to code anymore. He says it is kind of embarrassing that like getting in the weeds again and actually writing code, it's just a waste of time. It's just something to like, it's almost like therapy at this point. If I feel like doing it, it's just because I don't want to like open up a conversation with Claude. He's like, I just talked to Claude now. And then he checks the code periodically just to make sure it's kind of like what he would build, but he's pretty confident in what it builds. So it's kind of wild how things have shifted so quickly.
Yeah, like the lack of skill that that AI. I work in cybersecurity. Like that's been my career for a long time. Um, the AI, what it makes up for in speed, what it lacks in skill. You can iterate incredibly quickly, and
Mm-hmm.
so um, developers are starting to leverage that because their work wants them to be productive, and they're paying for the tokens now. Their company is invested, so they're expecting their devs to make use of it. So they generate a ton of code. Um, but at the same time, these tools are accessible to all kinds of actors out there. And so in the cybersecurity space, we're seeing bad guys get a hold of these same tools and exploit vulnerabilities and all that fun stuff. And how do we as defenders keep up with it? We have to use the same tools. So
Yeah.
I'm using AI at work. A lot of our engineers are using AI at work to help speed up development of, defense technologies. So AI is, it's a game changer. People are resistant to it. Maybe it has a place in some places and maybe it doesn't have a place in other places. But from a technology standpoint, there's no replacing it for a lot of dev work, a lot of engineering these days. It's here to stay.
Yeah. It's interesting because you and I had a conversation when I just started dabbling and building stuff for Ben, with Ben, and I remember the conversation we had. I think you were very skeptical at the start, and seeing like what it was capable of doing, and the amount of improvement just over the past like 6 months has been insane. So I don't know what you thought, a year ago or a year and a half ago when we were playing around with it, but I didn't expect it to be this quick. Like I think your tone changed completely. Like I didn't. Did you ever expect that you'd be using AI the way you're using it in your job?
I mean, I definitely saw the winds were blowing that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, the speed was definitely a surprise of just how quickly the capability has ramped up and um, the adoption has ramped up. And now that now that I've been using it, I'm more comfortable with it, and I kind of, understand a little bit better its strengths and weaknesses. But yeah, it's definitely a game changer when it comes to just very quickly building stuff and iterating on it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like for me, it's like a very fun little creative outlet. Like I build Ben's games, and like there's not a whole lot of cybersecurity. This is all front end stuff. Like there's no there's no real back end to any of this stuff, so there's no real like risk that I'm aware of. Maybe you're more aware than I am, but I just have fun just creating that stuff. It's just fun to just know that I can build something like this without having any programming background. I mean, of course, in the wrong hands, it's dangerous, but I think in the right hands, it could be pretty beneficial. For Ben especially.
I mean, honestly, from the security standpoint, most of what we're writing doesn't have huge security implications, except for one thing, which is something that companies are dealing with, and it's something to bear in mind if you're working on stuff.
Mm.
The dependencies you call in, the other little modules and components you pull in that other people have been writing, the libraries and stuff,
Sure. Yeah.
that supply chain is vastly, vastly vulnerable. There are vulnerabilities in those things all the time, and maybe it's not in the little JS files and the little libraries that we pull in for these games. But if you're out there coding stuff for work and the AI tells you, oh, you just need to load this dependency and pull in this library, um, be very aware of what it's doing and what it's pulling in, because supply chain risk is a huge one nowadays, especially with AI making changes to downstream and upstream repositories. So,
That's very
yeah.
interesting. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not that I didn't think about that, but it's one of those things that I guess you don't think about when you just want something to work.
Yeah, the AI tells you, oh, if you want to
Yeah.
do this, just load this, this, and this. It's like, who made those? I don't know, but throw them in there and it'll do what you want. Okay.
Yeah. It's crazy to think about that. Like, yeah. So this thing right now is working. It's going to take a while. Let's see what its usage is at, because it might be pretty high at this point. It's at 42%, so that's not terrible. It'll probably get close to some sort of thing before we end, but I just want to see if there's any. All right, so it's filling the lake. It's building something, but right now it's going through it. I usually just check the index. I'll open the index and like a little preview here to kind of see what it's doing. You can watch it work live as it builds the game. You can actually just keep this index file open where it's pulling in all the stuff from the JavaScript little JS files, right? And you'll just watch it kind of load the stuff. You're not going to see all the gameplay, obviously, but you'll see like little graphics pop up or whatever it's building, which is really cool. So this might take a little while. So it's almost 2:30. I told Ben we'd come up and say bye, which I think we're going to do momentarily because we do have to do some errands today. But you guys got to see like a good first half. I don't know who's still watching. If you're not watching, that's okay. This is kind of for my own uses too. We basically got through the first half or so of how we're going to make this game. Hopefully it was somewhat educational. I mean, I'm not great at teaching this stuff. I just kind of play. That's why it's called vibe coding. So I'm just playing at this point. We're going to have this whole new game for Ben. He will test it either later today or tomorrow, depending on how far I get. I'll probably end up doing some errands, coming back, messing around with this. Brian, I'll probably message you when I'm back, so that way you can kind of see how far it's gone or how far it's come. And what I'll do is next week, when we stream on Thursday, I have to do my little my endoscopy, so maybe we'll stream earlier in the morning. I'll show you guys what this game looks like. I'll kind of show you, what it looked like in the folder. And if it's ready to go, we'll put it up on switchedgames.org, and it'll be a little collaboration effort between myself, Ben, and Brian. And if anyone else is interested in building these kinds of games or wants to get involved, with us and learn how to do this stuff for people like Ben who have limited inputs, yeah, get involved, because we love hanging out with more people to play with this stuff and learn how to use it and build some useful games and tools for the people they love.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's really cool to learn about as we go, and it's easy to jump in and make stuff. The fishing game, even though we're ultimately not going to use it as is for Ben, it only took me a few hours, a few nights this past week to get to the state it's in. So it's pretty easy.
Yeah, I'll mention this too. Like, you built that whole thing, and there's a part of me that goes, "Man, he made this whole game. That's really cool." But like, we're probably gonna blow it apart. But that's only because I've been, I mean, you've seen how much stuff we built, how much stuff I built. Like, I'm gonna say, before I got into a rhythm with Ben to figure out like the stuff he can really use, I was building stuff and reiterating constantly. Like his first baseball game, you remember what that looked like? It was
Oh yeah.
nothing like it is today, you know? Same thing with his matchy match game. You know, it's completely different. And those took me vastly longer than what I think you said it took you a couple hours to make that fishing game. A fishing game like that, you know, last year would have taken me probably a little over a week or 2 weeks to make because AI just wasn't ready yet, you know? Um, so yeah, it's cool that we can just iterate, mess around with it, have Ben test it, and then say, all right, this isn't quite it, but let's try to figure out how to make it work because I love the concept. I think it'll be fun. I think Ben will have fun playing it. We just need to strip it down, make it a little bit, you know, more on a track or however you want to call it. Um, yeah, and then we can release more of those other types of games in the future for other people.
Yeah, and I think this just helps demonstrate like how great this is for the accessibility space, where someone with a progressive condition can have have something made for them, and if the situation changes, it can pretty quickly and easily be reconfigured and
Mm-hmm.
retailored for their new situation, so that they're not stuck. You know, a lot of you've always talked about one of the big challenges with like accessibility devices is they're very expensive, and once you have it, if the person doesn't want to use it or suddenly can't use it, you're now stuck with a multi-thousand-dollar paperweight.
Right.
Um, and something like this really helps to prevent that.
Yeah. Yeah. And just so, for those of you who are unaware of how much some of these devices cost, Ben's initial Tobii Dynavox, yes, I'm calling out Dynavox, his initial Tobii Dynavox was almost $10,000. It was just a phrase board. It was just a way for Ben to synthesize speech so that way he could say a few things in school. He didn't use it at home. But we're talking $10,000, okay? What and we have built him all these games, his keyboard, his phrase board, his streaming app, all that stuff, we were able to build for basically a $20 subscription to any AI of your choice, right? And it's getting better and better all the time with a Surface Pro and a couple of adapted switches. In total, if you got to use Surface Pro or like a Chromebook, whatever, right? And use these browser based games and tools, you could potentially be building a tool that can be very useful for someone with limited mobility for under $500-$600. That's including the subscription and the adapted buttons. Everyone's different. Everyone's needs are different. But I will say that this has been huge for Ben. This has been a complete game changer. What we have built, and we've said this 1,000 times, and Brian, you know this, we had no idea that Ben would be able to text Brian, who lives across the country. And that's like one of the most powerful things that happened in this entire kind of endeavor, this entire like journey, is that there was one day that I was like, I got a messaging app to work for Ben. Ben was able to send a message. And then Brian sent me a message that said, I can't believe I'm texting Ben right now. And that was like massive. That was one of the best moments of my life. So
Yeah,
I'm
now
very
you won't leave me
thankful.
alone.
Yeah, now he won't fucking leave you alone. But I'm very thankful for this technology, and for good or for bad, this is a really great way to use it. And we're hoping more people can embrace this tech for this reason and get involved, build more stuff, you know, give more people access, more fun, you know, recreational stuff or keyboards or streaming apps, whatever it might be, because we think it's very important. That's why the NARBE Foundation exists. That's why we started telling our story. Um, and yeah, that's why we're all here. Anyway,
Well said.
are you guys ready to go say bye to Ben? He's getting a meal right now. If anyone's still here, I'm gonna change the I'm gonna change the scene over to Ben. Brian, I won't keep you on this Discord call. This thing is still working, so it's gonna keep working. I'm gonna go on. This might take a couple hours. It might take an hour to complete what it's doing. But I'll when I get back from my errands, Brian, I will message you and show you whatever this builds. And then for anyone who's watching and is interested, you can send me a DM or just wait till next week and we'll show you the final product.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll tune in Discord, or not Discord, on Twitch.
Okay.
Say bye to Ben, but yeah, hop off for now.
All right, man. Thanks for your help. Thanks for the game. I know Ben, at first, he wasn't really appreciative of it. He was very excited, and then he was having a hard time with it. But, you know, we're going to make this game really fun, really cool, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, I think he'll be happy. I think we'll get to a place where he'll enjoy this fishing game. I don't know
Yeah.
that he'll like fishing, but he'll enjoy this fishing
Yeah,
game.
yeah. I think if he can see the dingus fish, hold on, let me pull that up. A little spoiler, guys. Ben isn't can't see this, but I'll pull this up just so you guys can see it. Fish. This is the largemouth dingus right here, guys. I don't know if you can see it on your screens, but there it is.
This was actually really hard to make.
Really?
The AI, I was trying to get the AI to make like your face in the watercolor style.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
Uh,
It couldn't even get the scale right to get the head placed on the fish properly. I had to manually crop out your head from a photo, take the fish that the AI did generate, and then tell it with that transparent one exactly how to scale it and how to position the head. So there is some stuff the AI has challenges with. And if I had Photoshop, I could probably do it real quick. But
let me see if Gemini can do it. So I just put it into Gemini. So this is actually another reason why Gemini and some of these other ones have like a little bit more powerful image gen. So sometimes using your local one is like, fuck, it's really annoying if you have like a subscription to Gemini or whatever, or Chat GPT. All right, so it says, sure, here's the fish. Oh no. With the face merged into the fish, dingus. It literally just gave me it's like, hey, make this a fish, and it just made it a normal fish. It's actually pretty good though.
yeah, I'm surprised that the fish was made by the local image gen, obviously, but
Yeah. It kept the style and everything.
yeah,
But-
my local image gen thing just could not. And maybe it was the workflow I had. Like, there's a ton of dials and knobs for local image gen stuff.
So
But
it's
my
getting
local one just could not match your face.
okay. So this one was getting closer. It was getting closer. See the style. So
Yep, that's definitely you in the style. And
Yeah.
this is the same issue I had with the local one, which was it couldn't comprehend replacing the fish's face. So it was like you would get fish face parts sticking out of your face. It was very funny.
All right, I'm gonna try a different prompt. Using the same face, merge it into the fish's art style. Okay, let's see if that works. Let's just see, and we'll go say bye to Ben. I'm very interested to see if this will work. That's nightmare fuel, Nikki said.
Yeah, it's the thing if the thing replicated a trout.
Yeah. Yeah, that is pretty terrifying. I love it though. When I actually didn't see it until today. I was like, oh my god. There we go. How's that?
How much? Yeah, so that's much closer to your face. I probably have them saved somewhere, but I have the rejects that were not your face.
Okay. So should we use this one? I can replace it.
Yeah, if you like, if you're happy with it, go for it.
I mean,
If it's recognizably you, go for it, because that's the whole point.
I could scale it to the fish. Scale it down to match the fish's body size. I should have said scale the head down. Turns it into an anamorph sorts of picture, and it'll really be nightmare fuel. Yeah. Resize the man's head. All right, let's see if it does it. If it works, we'll add it. I'll save it and as an option. I didn't rescale it at all, did it? No. But but it is part of the fish's head now. It's like merged to it. I don't know if you see this.
Sure. Yeah, now it's Brundlefly. Good job.
Yeah, all right, we'll keep that. That's actually hilarious. All right, we got it. We'll save that to the folder, and that'll be the
largemouth dingus.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, perfect. All right. Call this largemouth dingus. I have to change it to a PNG, but I'll put it in the folder. Let's go to Ben's thing. All right, so this thing's gonna keep working. We'll go upstairs and say bye to Ben. Let me tell Nancy I'm switching the camera.
Hey, I'm switching the camera up there so you guys can say bye. You ready? I'll do it in like 10 seconds.
Okay. So I'll switch
All right,
it.
I'll
All right,
dip
dude.
out of Discord.
All right, man. I'll
Thanks for
catch you
having me.
later. Thanks for being here. We'll do this again eventually.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, dude. Have a good one.
Yep, later.
Let me get out of Discord. Close that. Close that. All right, guys. This is still working, like I said, but we're gonna go say bye to Ben, and then I'll show you guys the final game when it's done next week. All right. All right. When it's done next week. All right, Nancy.
Okay. We're gonna say bye to everyone. There we go. Ben, turn your head to the right. The camera's straight ahead. Yeah, okay. Thanks for hanging out with us. We will try to stream again soon.
Maybe next Thursday. I have my doctor's appointment, but maybe earlier we can stream for like an hour.
I have the audio on.
Okay. Sorry, guys. So,
but
there we go. But yeah, we will be.
we'll try to be back soon. Maybe next Thursday. We have the Extreme Modus coming soon, so we're gonna take a lot of outdoor trips. We're gonna do some trails and take Ben places. So you guys will stay updated.
Your fishing game. We have a really cool idea. It'll be kind of like your racing game, like we talked about. So it'll be way easier for you to play. Does that sound cool? All right, so we'll test it maybe tomorrow or later today, and then we'll show everyone online. Does that sound cool? All right.
Yep. So thanks for hanging out, guys. We're gonna go run some errands.
Yep.
My favorite place. We're going to Lowe's.
Or Home Depot. Where are we going? Lowe's or Home Depot?
I like going to Lowe's, so
We're
we're
going
gonna
to
go to
Lowe's.
Lowe's and get some garden supplies.
We gotta get a wheelbarrow. Nancy's all about gardening.
I'm gonna.
He's on the tire.
Who's on the tire? Chippy? Oh my god.
He's going in the van. Oh my god.
I didn't. I swear, I'm not feeding him.
This chipmunk lived in our old van. We caught two different. Sorry, guys. We're gonna say bye, but I gotta complain. We had two chipmunks living in our old van. We got rid of them. We brought them to the park. We captured them and then dumped them off a couple miles away at a park. I'm looking out the window and there's a chipmunk on the new van's tire, and I'm like, it's probably living in the van again.
We might need to get a garage. I don't know.
Oh god, gotta get a garage. Our van would not fit in our garage, so we have to get a different garage. Anyway,
I didn't see it go in.
I didn't either, but it's on the tire, so that's not a good sign. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining us. I'm gonna go shut down the stream. I'm gonna leave you guys with Nancy and Ben, and we'll see you next week, hopefully.
All right, we got a chipmunk problem, but we'll be fine. Yeah.